Welcome to Corella. The first known being of this world was the god Urian. Less than 5,000 years ago, he created all of the other races. Humans, elves, kinderfolk, gnomes, dwarves, pikeys, wyverns, and giants. All of the races mingled and fought, coveting each other's lands and vying for more territory and riches. This grasp for power culminated in the Border Wars, which lasted 1,000 years. Peace came in a treaty, leaving each of the races to rule their own lands. Corella has enjoyed several hundred years of peace and prosperity, but something dark, something unexplained is beginning to corrupt the world, magic, and perhaps even Urian himself. This corruption has turned a once peaceful land into a world ripe with danger and adventure, which is where we find our band of heroes in the Corellan Chronicles.
Cheers! Welcome to fucking Corella.
All right, yeah.
Welcome to Corella. There we go. Let's do it.
Yeah,
And we're off.
and we're off.
To fantasy land. It's a lot different.
Well, yeah. So, welcome to Corella. This is a very rough D&D live play podcast that we are all doing. We'll introduce ourselves a little bit. It's based roughly on the book that I wrote, and I'm currently trying to publish. But a little bit of background on the world, and then we'll get into the game. So, like I said, the name of the world is Corella. It's a vast world, big one continent world, kind of Pangea-like. It's young and wild, comparatively speaking, to most of the fantasy worlds that you're used to. There's a myriad of races and creatures spread across the world, but most of it is kind of separated off into different groups. So dwarves in one area, elves in one area, but it's kind of your classic, D&D fantasy races. There is a singular god in this world. His name is Urian. He has been around since the beginning of time, and he is responsible for creating everything. For a long time in the world, it was just Urian and nature. And then when he got bored, he decided to create the races. He started off with the Kinders, or the Halflings, as you would know in D&D speak. And then he created the rest of the races after that. For thousands of years after the creation of the races, there was much war that caused the continent to kind of be split off into the factions that it's split off into now, with the dwarves being in the east, the elves being in the southwest, the humans kind of being spread out through the rest of the world. But since then, it's been roughly about 1,000 years of relative peace. Some minor skirmishes in the world, but for the most part, kind of quiet times. Magic is not readily available in the world. It is more of a religious-based or nature-based magic, so there's not a lot of wizards or witches or things like that. But in this story, where we're starting off is in the Southern Kingdom. It's also known as Marin, named after the capital city. This kingdom is ruled by a young king, some would say a boy king, freshly married to a beautiful and benevolent bride. The king's law is enforced across the land by his own army called the Silver Row. Every town in the kingdom has a member of the Silver Row that runs it, and all the citizens pay fealty to the crown through the row. The power of the crown is only rivaled by the Urianic Church. The church dominates most of the world, and in many ways is as powerful as each monarchy in each respective kingdom. Each kingdom has a high priest, and each castle has a rival cathedral set up against the castle battlements. Here in Marin, King Marba is a devout worshiper of Urian, and he and the high priest Kaldor share an easy relationship. It is currently, in the time of our campaign, early summer. The rains have begun to sweep across the southern kingdom. The Finns, the massive swamp at the southern tip of the continent, would take the brunt of most of these storms, and that is where we begin our story. Tonight, the storms are particularly bad, and they have pushed most of the people indoors. We're starting on the outside of town, on the outskirts of town, where our first character, Zakar, has been watching a man in his rough camp set up on the outside of town who has suddenly gotten up and walked into town, which is unusual for him. But he's left behind his companion, the man who's left behind his companion, a small, rather odd raccoon. Zakar, do you want to introduce yourself?
The storm begins.
The storm begins.
It's almost like this weird singing. Summon the storm.
Singing storm. My God. So Zakar's kind of young for a half-elf ranger. A young half-elf ranger, fairly, wouldn't say scrawny, we'll say lanky. Oh, you hear that? There's the storm. The storm is rolling in.
Young, scrawny, half-elf ranger. Any particular things that we should know about his physique, his build, his hair, eyes? What's he look like?
Tall, brown hair, lanky. Just the fairly only distinguishing characteristic would be his right eye. The iris is just white. The druidic sisterhood that raised him called it the Mark of the Hunter. Possibly helps him aim better, hopefully. So, other than that, just, typical half-elf long hair, living out in the woods his whole life.
Excellent. So as I said before, you have been watching at the behest or the instruction of the sisterhood that has raised you. They asked you to watch this man and his companion. You've been watching him for a couple of days. He has a camp, kind of a permanent camp on the outskirts of town. He does not interact with the town very often. He doesn't do much in the town, but he did suddenly today, just before the storm began, not even a full hour ago. He got up and kind of made his way into town, and he left his raccoon behind. The raccoon, you notice, has been kind of uncomfortably wandering around the camp, and then he starts to sit and look up at the storm that's rolling in, and there's a strange storm rolling in off the coast. And you are on the southern tip of the kingdom. You are just outside of the port town of Darkfoot Landing, which is on the very southern tip of the continent. It is a port town that's where many ships and traders come in. They move around the tip of the continent, and this is kind of where they stop on their trade routes. And you can see out onto the ocean, and you see a large storm rolling in off the ocean, and you can see the clouds are kind of sparkling with yellow and purple lightning, and the raccoon seems to be fairly disturbed by this, and he suddenly hops down off his stump and goes running into town, kind of in the same direction that his owner has gone.
So, yes, for a ranger, I'm kind of surprisingly not that perceptive. I tend to miss a lot of things. So, I was, on stakeout watching the man and his raccoon, and I might have had to relieve myself. And when I came back, he was gone. The raccoon was still there. I got a little worried. The raccoon was getting worried, and he ran off. I figured he might have been following the man, or hopefully. So, followed the raccoon in a little bit, and headed closer into town that I'm very comfortable with. Okay. I don't like society very much, but I'll venture into town for this. It's part of my mission. So.
The raccoon seems to be making kind of a beeline. He's on straight course, and you're not having to. And he's running right down the middle of the street. It's not hard to follow him. I won't make you make any rolls or any checks to follow him.
Thank God.
So you're keeping pace with the raccoon, following him into town. Let's skip over to Beargar. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Beargar Greenfield, last living member of the Greenfield clan. Traveled far and wide looking for a way to free my wife, who's trapped in a stone. I've heard that a gnome can help her, and I heard there might be a gnome at this bar. Beargar's, I'm about 200 pounds, 6 foot. I'm a large man, son of a logger. Was a logger myself for the first part of my life before everything was shaken up when the heart tree exploded. Been a long time that I've been searching, and I've lost hope. I've gotten kind of dirty and rakish, and I can survive on my own, but I don't really understand the point. But as long as I'm alive and me Eleanor is stuck in this rock, I'm going to try to find a gnome.
Okay. You have found yourself in front of the bar, the Sparrow's Rest Inn. It is at the... It is at the northern edge of town. It's kind of the last building before you get out of town heading to the north. This is where you had heard from some of the locals. You overheard some of the locals on the edge of town talking about this earlier in the day, that they had seen a gnome in town and that he seemed to be staying at
The
the
little
Sparrow's
bastards were throwing rocks in me hut.
Rest. Yes, they are known to do that.
They're throwing rocks in me hut and saying, "Bear man, bear man."
Yes, I watched them do that. Yes.
And so,
So you're standing just outside the bar. You know the door is not open, but you can kind of see through some of the windows and hear inside. It seems to be kind of quiet. The storm, like I said earlier, seems to push most people into their own houses. But you are welcome to walk into the bar and see what you see.
over at me rock, I talked to my sweet Eleanor. Yeah, I think there's a gnome in there, lass. I've been looking for a long time. It'd be strange if he were just here. But we gotta get out of the storm. Oh, Bandit is okay. So I go, Beargar goes inside.
Okay.
And he's got a cloak with like just a ton of pockets, and he's like dirty, and he's like, it's like dusting himself off. It's like, not used to being indoors. Such a nice place. I think I have some coin here. You think I could get a beer?
So as you walk in, what you see before you is a pretty sparse tavern. There's about 6 or 7 tables spread throughout, kind of spaced evenly. Each table has 5 to 6 chairs sitting at it. There is a singular long bar at the back end of the tavern. There's a hearth on the right-hand side that has a fire roaring in it. And then there's a set of double staircases that go up on either side of the bar to an upstairs that seems to be maybe where the rooms are. Behind the bar, you see a small halfling man, dusty blonde hair, bright blue eyes, that's kind of absent-mindedly cleaning a glass. It's pretty sparse in here. There's not a lot of people. You do see a other halfling woman who seems to be serving, or at least trying to serve tables, but there's not much to serve. And you see one other drunk man in the back who has his head down on the table, kind of quietly snoring to himself. Aberdeen, you see a strange man who you've never seen before in town. Walks to the door, starts patting himself dry, dusting himself off, and says, kind of to the bar at large, "Do you think I could get a beer? Do you want to introduce yourself?"
My name is Aberdeen.
Hi, Aberdeen.
Hello. I work at the Sparrow's Rest with my twin brother, Angus. I'm here. It's tough. I don't want to really work, but here I am.
Awesome. What do you look like?
I got this bald spot in the back of my head.
Amazing.
This little bald patch. I'm about 3.5 feet tall.
Fantastic.
But I do have kind of long arms for a halfling.
Of course, yes.
That's my recessive gene.
The long arms.
The long arms recessive gene.
Yes.
I've got
Supposed to
green
be a
eyes.
swimmer.
Green eyes and pretty pale from working inside so much. I work the night shift mostly.
Fair enough.
So I sleep during the day so I don't get any sun. So my cyclical clock is pretty off.
That's awesome.
I'm kind of grumpy. I'm here to do a job. And I also see this guy who just dusted himself off all over my clean floors.
Are you going to get him a beer?
I glare at him first.
Fair enough.
I give him the evil eye, and then I think about what my life could have been as a doctor. But I do look at him, and I glare at him, and I don't say anything, and I just turn around and I head back behind the bar.
Your brother Angus looks at you and says, "Well, we've got one customer who's awake. You think we should get him a beer?"
Dirty customer.
Very dirty, yeah.
But
yeah.
I also heard some coins jingle when he was patting himself off, so we should maybe get him more than one beer.
Okay, I like it. I will. So Angus kind of reached down below the bar, and there's a kind of a big pot sitting below the bar that has beer sitting in the pot. And he takes it.
Just a
He
big
takes
barrel?
It, yeah, he takes a
Big barrel.
dips it in, hands it to you to go give to the
Beargar
bartender.
sees this happening, and there's nobody in the bar. So he walks up to them. He's like, "Hello, you wee ones. I see that you're getting me a beer here. I really appreciate it. I apologize for the dust in the mud earlier. I'm sorry. I've been living in the hut. There were some children, and they were throwing rocks at me hut. They're talking about a gnome, and I've been searching for a gnome for a long time. And
It looks like it.
I see and I understand. But I'd be happy to purchase a couple of beers, maybe one for each of us. And if you could tell me if you've seen a gnome." And he pulls out a gold coin that he's got in his pocket and is like, "I have a few gold coins. Do you think this will cover for today?"
So, what I'm going to let you do is I'm going to let you decide if you want to interact with him. But I'm going to make you roll, first roll of the campaign. I want you to roll a persuasion check with advantage to see if Angus is going to talk to you about anything that he knows. But the gold coin is enticing to him.
No pressure.
Well, the first one is a 3. Second one is a 19.
Plus your persuasion modifier.
That 3 was pretty persuading.
0. 0. My charisma is bad.
Bad charisma.
Yes.
But natural 19, fantastic. So Angus nods his head and he slides you the beer, and then he takes it back and he pours the beer back, and he reaches up behind the bar and he grabs an actual bottle of beer and he kind of cracks the top off and he hands you like a fresh bottle of beer. And he looks at his sister and he says, "Well, I don't know about a gnome, but there was a small fellow. Gnomes aren't. I don't know gnomes. But there was a small fellow that was here, but he's been gone for at least a week.
He'd have looked like a child with a beard. The diminutive, he'd have been very demanding about his money, and maybe that's a stereotype, but the gnomes that I knew, they were very reluctant to give anything back that maybe they've had in their possession at one point or another."
This sounds precisely like the guy that was here, and I'm sorry to say, he left. I don't know, a couple of days ago, a week ago.
I don't know.
All right,
I'm not paying attention.
fair.
I'm just working, Angus.
All right. So, it was at least 3 days ago, if not a week ago. I don't know. Time kind of is cyclical here. But yes, he's gone. He's been gone for a while. But he was here, stayed here for a couple of nights. He sold his wares and then left.
Do you have any of his wares?
No, actually, we didn't buy any.
Or do you know where he might have been going to sell more?
He didn't take a boat, so he must have headed north.
Adraham Gate?
I mean, that's the only way to go from here.
I appreciate the information.
Of course. Enjoy your beer. Please make yourself comfortable. Don't bother Gunner. He's the guy in the corner. He's a little grumpy.
Why do you keep rubbing that rock?
Oh, this rock is contains. I don't know if I should tell you, lass.
Okay.
It contains the soul of my sweet love Eleanor. We were attacked by a wizard years ago, and he trapped her in this rock. Now, I'm showing you the rock, and it's like this river rock that I have in my hand. There is like a vague picture of a woman on it, like maybe like a coin, which makes it unique, but other than that, it is just a rock. It's not warm, it's not special, it is just it's interesting because it looks like it has a face on it, but it could just be, like, it only looks like a face if I've told you that it's a face.
So it's like if you see something in the clouds and somebody's like, that looks like a giraffe, and you're like, oh yeah, I guess it does look like a giraffe.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so,
yeah.
but he's very serious. Like when he's telling you, he's like, my sweet love Eleanor. She lives in it. Her soul is trapped in here. That's why I'm looking for a gnome. I want to get her out.
Well, he must have been set out on foot.
That makes
Because Angus here says he didn't take a boat.
That's true.
So if you're looking for a gnome to get that lady out of your rock,
Head north to Adraham Gate.
why, maybe. I'm not sure which way he went.
I understand, lass. I understand. Would you like a beer?
No, not from this barrel. No, sir. But thank you, though. I've got these other 4 patrons to take care of.
You think for this gold piece that we could get a bottle for you and for our grumpy friend over there, Gunnar? You said his name was?
Oh, yeah, that's Gunner. I wouldn't mess with him. But sure, I mean, if you buy him a bottle, you might make a friend. Yeah, all right.
It's a good day. This is the first gnome I've heard about in over 3 years.
But
I tried to find Tharavik. Do you know what Tharavik is?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Tharavik is a lost gnome city where they're said that gnome magic could perhaps get my beautiful Eleanor out of this here rock.
Angus.
Yeah.
He's talking about ladies and
I
rocks.
know, but he's buying beer.
Okay.
All right,
Well, we said a bottle.
Gunner
Get
is
him.
asleep, so let's listen to his stories and sell him beer.
Oh, okay.
All right. Okay.
So you think you will drink a beer with me? This is a great night. We're going to celebrate.
I got nothing else going on. I'll have a beer.
There's a storm going on outside.
I see that.
Looks like it could be a bad one.
It's gonna be.
It's too good a night to
Are you
stay
going
in
to
the
be
hut.
here all night?
I mean, it looks
This way?
like it.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
maybe. Okay, yeah. Let's give him a beer.
I've got 8 more of these gold pieces that I'm willing to spend here tonight.
Hell yeah!
Yes,
All right.
okay. Yes. Pull up a chair, sir.
And I'll grab 2 more bottles and set them down in front of you. About that time, you hear this strange noise at the door, and then the door to the main bar opens up, and your raccoon bandit comes flying through the door at full speed.
What's that?
Bandit! Me boyo!
Jesus.
Bandit! What are you doing? Hey, sorry, this is my sweet boy, this is Bandit.
It's so dirty.
We are kind of dirty. I apologize.
I know. Look at my
I
floor.
mean, you said you lived in a
I live
tent
in
or something?
a hut.
A hut. No, well, I mean,
The floor is made of dirt. I'm not used to getting the floor dirty.
I mean,
It already is dirty.
Well,
It's
yeah,
dirt.
me?
I mean,
No, your floor is beautiful. I apologize. Please, you wee lass. Don't, I see that evil eye. I'm sorry, this is Bandit. He's a good boy.
when you're saying the raccoon's name is Bandit.
Yes, this is Bandit.
Oh,
Me Eleanor named him Bandit because of it looks like the mask over his eyes.
your
Does it
rock
talk?
named the raccoon.
Well, she wasn't the rock then. She was my wife. She was a lady.
Does
Human
it talk?
person.
Is there a human inside the raccoon?
No, Bandit, I can understand what he wants.
You can talk
He's
to
a good boy.
animals.
Oh, I can talk to Bandit. Bandit,
Just that one?
do you want some cheese?
And you clearly hear in your head, yeah, I'll take some cheese. Yeah, that sounds good.
See? And he like reaches in and he's got a big cloak with dozens of pockets. And he pulls out like a piece of like old cheese. He's like, here you go, boyo.
Bandit takes it like readily and just mows it down. Loves it.
His favorite thing is apples. If you have apples,
No.
When you say
Yes,
apples,
apples.
he starts spinning in your lap.
he's a good boy. He's a good boy. Stop, your little claw hands. You got to. And I set him over on the bar stool next to me.
Where he sits like a human.
To which he sits up. And what you want some beer, boyo? And I legit like tilt my little cup and give him some beer, and he takes it with his little hands.
In the meantime, Zakar, you have seen this raccoon beeline through the city streets to this bar on the north side of town. The rain is starting to come down harder and harder. He has gone straight through the door, left the door wide open, and into the bar. You can do what you want.
So, this is it's supposed to be a stealth mission. I'm supposed to just keep eyes on him. So, Zakar, like, the door opens, you look through the door, it's dark out, very stealthy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to try and sneak into the bar unseen.
Give me a stealth check.
That is a 22.
Wow.
Somehow, with 3 people in the bar, suddenly Bergar looks from the one side of him with the raccoon. He looks away from the raccoon for a second. When he looks back, I'm sitting in the bar stool next to the raccoon.
I will say, I'm going to give me a perception check. Now, you'll need your character sheet.
I got it.
Okay. You're gonna roll a d20. Oh.
Yes. Yes.
Angus got drunk.
Angus's first roll is a nat 1.
Yes.
Angus is wasted.
So
Angus notices
Angus
nothing.
Angus is like pulling flies out of the barrel.
Of beer.
You're
Angus.
+2.
Yeah. So you roll that and then add 2 to it.
9.
Okay. So you also don't notice anything.
So I am suddenly sitting at the bar next to the raccoon.
And so to step out, just because this is a homebrewed game, just some rules that we didn't go through beforehand, but just let the audience know. If you roll a nat 1, it is an automatic fail. It doesn't matter what's going on, you automatically fail. If you roll a nat 20, it is an automatic pass. Doesn't matter how hard the task is, you automatically succeed. So Angus failed.
At seeing someone walk into his own bar.
Yes, with a bar with 3 people in it.
He did not hear the door open.
Walked right up, sat down at his bar, and he didn't see it.
There was a raccoon.
The door was really
Good boy.
The raccoon
He's a
blew
very
in.
distracted lad.
The door was closing very slowly. The
He's got
skinny
little
man
hands.
slipped right in before the door closed.
Also, not a good
He's
sign
drinking a beer.
that the DM's first roll of the campaign was a nat 1.
I think it's a great sign.
Get it out of the way.
It's all up from here. Okay, so
So,
Zakar, you are now
Zakar.
sitting at the bar. You very stealthily made your way to the bar as you wanted to do. You see sitting next to you a raccoon on the stool, looking like very human. A very large man feeding the raccoon beer, and 2 grumpy halflings behind the bar serving drinks.
I've been tracking the raccoon really more than the man this entire time. So, I look down at the raccoon and say, "Is this a friend of yours?"
And you hear in your head very clearly, yeah, it is. Yeah, I like it. It's pretty good. Yeah.
Look,
Holy shit, bandit! The fuck did this elf come from?
And you hear in your head, I mean, he's kind of been here the whole time, I think.
I've been here the whole time.
Hello, elf. I'm Bergar.
Hello, Batman.
Today is a very special day. I thought that perhaps I was going to buy drinks for people. I did not see you there a minute ago. I know you're skinny, but was there a post in the... Did you change seats, lad?
I've been here the whole
And,
time.
and you're friends with Bandit already. Bandit,
Well, yes. I mean, he's a very friendly little man.
he's a good boy,
Yes.
correct? Did you see him drinking a beer, lad?
Well, yes. That's where we're at a.
Would you like a
tavern?
beer?
Is this tavern? Is this what we do? We drink beer here.
I told them that I was buying a round for the house. And the house right now is me and Gunner and Bandit. So, would you like a round? Would you like the bottled ones are special and
I will take whatever drink is around. Are the bottles good? Should I? What is?
Well,
there are
yes.
bottles and there's. I don't do this much. I'm sorry.
Angus, the bartender, looks at you and says, well, your options are, you got cask ale,
Okay.
which is a little gamey sometimes, but, you know, if you're adventurous,
I mean,
It's
I,
for the stout-hearted.
I'm always hunting game. I like. I like game. you know.
okay, I mean,
Deer.
yeah,
Rabbits.
right.
you know.
We'll go with that. It's
All right.
rabbit beer. We'll call it that.
Fantastic.
There's also,
I'll take one.
all
If
right.
he's paying, I'm sorry. I have no money. I don't.
the lad can
I don't
have
have
whatever
money.
he wants. It's a good night. Would you like to hear my story?
Do I have to listen to his story? I mean, if he's paying, I suppose I should.
You don't have to listen to my story,
I
lad.
mean,
if you don't want to.
If you're
I
you're
thought
buying
you
me
did.
a rabbit ale, I will certainly listen to your
I
story.
thought it'd be a nice discussion over your gross rabbit ale.
Bergar. There's also the
Yes,
guy
yes.
in the corner.
Yeah, I got her.
Gunnar, did you
There's also the patron that's asleep at the corner.
Who's snuck up on me there?
did you take him? Did you take him the
That's,
bottle?
that's Gunner.
I did.
He's-
Well, if he
I
wakes up, he
I
can
didn't
hear
see
him.
him.
Shit.
I didn't see him on my way.
I don't. I think if a lad is sleeping, we can let him sleep. Unless you have a rule against sleeping at your bar.
Here's what I'm gonna say about that. And Miss Aberdeen, you know this too. Gunner knows if he's missed a round, so I'm gonna go ahead and say you should bring him a bottle, Aberdeen. Just set it on the table.
Oh, she already took him one. It's there.
That's it. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I missed that too. I ain't seeing shit tonight.
He is
Because
very-
Beargar forgot.
the sleeping man is very perceptive.
Bear fart forgot.
Oh, you're coming up
Beargar.
with a nickname?
Bearfart.
It's not even 40 minutes into the beginning episode.
What's an episode?
The nickname is Bear Fart. Amazing.
Wait, that's a nickname. I thought that's how he introduced himself.
Can you believe these people? You come here. You don't think
Speaking
I'm a
of
fuck,
Bear
do you,
Fart.
boy?
Beargar, this is the finest establishment.
Believe Bandit
in this
knows you
town.
do.
Yes. Bandit is nodding.
Bandit is a good boy.
If
Bandit is
Bandit
nodding.
is well behaved, and for one more gold piece, he can have an apple.
Bandit nods hard.
You know I can't deny me, boy. That's a very expensive apple for a gold piece.
You give me a perception check.
9 plus. I think my perception's actually pretty high. 9 plus 2, so 11.
Yeah, hold on.
Because he knows I'm
so-
trying to
so-
wheel and deal him from.
Well, and that's more of an insight. I want to see if he notices what your brother does. No, he doesn't. So Angus looks at you and is like, he nods at you hard.
It's a slow night.
Yeah, it's
We
like
need him
yeah,
money.
gold for an
So
apple.
fucking apple,
Absolutely, damn right.
I'll tell you,
Now
lass.
you only have $10.
I'd love to
10
buy your
more
apple,
pieces
but I was
left.
planning on buying a lot more ales. You think I could get, say, half a dozen apples for this gold piece?
2.
I'll give you a gold piece for half a dozen.
Roll a persuasion check.
Are we gonna take all of his money?
13.
He's like, I'm gonna start with 20 pieces, and the
13.
first hour we're like, we're gonna take half of
Kind
it.
of looks like you know what? You roll a persuasion check against him. So what's her persuasion? It should be. Actually, she's got.
18.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So
I don't know what
Oh,
gold is
she
worth.
persuades
so
you
sure.
that 1 gold for 2 apples seems like a really good
I
idea.
did go to school.
That sounds like a great deal to me.
I'm sorry, Bandit.
Cigar, yes. That's
I-
it.
apples.
Yeah,
What is money?
I usually pay for things with leaves, meat. So,
Sorry, big boy Bandit. This lady hates you.
how many apples can I get for this dead squirrel?
We'll get you apples tomorrow. We can pick them for free.
Please put the squirrel up.
For,
Please
for,
put it away.
for a single gold,
Sorry.
I could have got you
Very
half
sorry.
a dozen.
It's fine. We
But,
don't barter. It's money or nothing.
I can get you.
That's fair.
I can get you 9 beers, I think, for the same gold piece. You can get very drunk.
Bandit
I mean,
snarls at you, and then you hear in your head, "I want the apples, please."
I'm sorry, boy. It's too expensive. Maybe,
You see-
maybe after we have a few more beers, maybe these mean fucking halflings will lighten up a bit.
You see, Bandit hops down off the stool, comes around behind the bar, and starts rummaging around behind the bar.
Hey!
to,
Hey!
to which Angus is like, get your... Oh, fine. And he hands him an apple.
Angus!
I mean, he's cute. He's cute. Look at him. He's cute.
Dirty little paws.
I know.
Rummaging through our food. We're
You know
gonna
what's
serve
cool
our
though?
patrons.
He'll wash his food. Have you ever seen that raccoon wash their food?
Does
It's
that look like
amazing.
a raccoon that's gonna wash his food?
Oh, probably not. You got a good point. Shit. It's just an apple.
Angus.
It was an apple rotten anyway.
He's dunking that apple in the barrel of rabbit beer. there.
That's a good boy, Bandit. I told you he'd wash his food. He's a good boy.
Oh,
He comes over. He's got this gross, like, soppy apple. And he
Apple
runs
rabbit ale.
He runs back to his stool, and he is just happily just nomming this apple, just like turning it over, like, and he does like a circle every now and again, and like looks at everybody, like holds his apple up, but like if you reach for it, he pulls it back.
it's awesome.
I should have gone to live with mom and dad.
I mean, really.
Ugh. Angus, there are some nights where I
Well,
wonder
I mean, I
if I
know.
made the right choice.
I live here too.
Did you say your name was lass?
Aberdeen.
Aberdeen, lass. Would you like to have a beer? Would you like to have a drink with me?
I thought that's what we were doing.
I mean,
Beargar.
you
We
want?
were doing
Are you
that.
buying another round?
Another round?
Bergar lays another gold piece down.
I'd love another rabbit ale.
Are you sure?
Apple rabbit ale.
All right, look, Mr. Zakar.
Yes,
Zakar, did you introduce yourself to me?
I may not have, no.
Mr. Man, person.
My name is Zakar.
Hi, Zakar.
Thank you. Hello. Your
My
name
is
is
Angus.
Angus.
This is my
Hello.
sister Aberdeen, and this is
Birdine.
I've seen you
Beargar.
slithering about
Beargar.
Thank you, Angus.
every once in a while, sir.
Thank
Really?
You're very
You're
mysterious.
more perceptive than most. I'm fairly sneaky.
18.
Yes,
You can put a number.
very much
on
are
my
very much more
perception.
perceptive than most.
It would be 18.
You seem to be new to this whole tavern thing.
Yes.
Don't drink the rabbit ale. Let me get you something decent.
Really?
This man's buying beers
It
at
wasn't
an
bad. It was
extraordinary
very
price.
gamey. It was very good.
Hold on. And he hands you, he pulls another bottle down and he kind of pops the top off and he hands you a fresh beer. It is a bitter. It is a nice dark bitter, but it is clean. It is fresh. It is not, there is no fungus on the top of it.
No raccoon fur.
There's no raccoon fur or saliva in it.
There's no after texture.
No, most beers shouldn't have texture. We try to avoid
You don't
texture.
have to chew it.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, texture is not something you want in beer other than wet.
The kind we brew in barrels.
Yes.
That's our house beer.
I mean, that's different. To, I mean, if you say that's the, you know,
I mean,
I will. You seem like a very intelligent man. If you,
I think you'll thank me for it tomorrow. The hangovers are way less. with
I
the
don't know what that
non-textured
is,
beer.
so-
That's fair enough. All right.
Angus,
I will go with what you say. Thank you.
Angus, Angus lad,
Yes, sir.
the drunk in the corner. You said he knows if he misses a round. He hasn't drank his last one, but he did buy a round.
How you want to go wake him up?
No, I want to give him another beer.
Oh, I would
Another
definitely
one.
give him another beer. Absolutely, 100%. Yep, you should do that.
No, I paid for it. I feel like one of you all should take it.
Oh
To
shit!
him.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Wait,
I don't.
That beer is empty. The beer's sitting in front of him. I mean, he's still asleep, I think, but it looks like that beer's empty.
He's a sneaky bastard.
Give me a perception check. Actually, all of you give me a perception check. Aberdeen, you can do it at advantage. So it means you roll twice, take a higher number.
Oh, god damn it.
12.
I rolled a 17, so that's 16.
6. 12.
Perceptions
14, 11.
14, 11.
I rolled a 17, so that's a 16.
Okay. None of you saw it. The beer is in fact empty.
Yes.
Aberdeen, would you mind taking Gunner this here beer? Because he does have another round coming.
Seems like he does.
Okay.
He is taking advantage.
I can do it if you
Is
want
it-
me to. You're seeming like it's a
I'll
little
go.
much.
Angus, I'll go do it.
Is he
Does he get the barrel beer
Is
or
he
No, we're
dangerous?
gonna give him a bottle beer.
the bottle beer?
Is he
Okay.
dangerous? You seem
Gunner?
apprehensive to go near him.
Well, I don't
I'm
know.
apprehensive to
Is he
do
just gonna
my
like snap at you or
job.
something? So like
I'll
a
go-
little
I'll go
drunken
do it.
bear trap?
I'll go do
Tell
it.
me about this gunner fella that's over here. That
Do I drag my feet when I
Um,
walk?
Absolutely.
Oh, of
Shuffle.
course you do.
I'm
I
impressed
shuffle.
by
The
the.
halfling
Shuffle when I
shuffle.
walk.
You don't have nearly enough energy.
I'm impressed
I
by
don't
how he
have
drank
long
this
legs.
beer without moving. It's like
Well-
he drank it with his mind.
I
There's
mean, some of us are very stealthy.
Here's what I'll tell you about Gunner. Gunner's here most of the time. The thing about Gunner is he always pays his tab. I rarely see him come in. I almost never see him leave, but he's not here when we close. He sits there most of the time and he drinks everything that's in front of him. He doesn't make a lot of conversation, but the way he gets in and out of the bar makes me a little uncomfortable. I've seen a few people poke at him, and they paid for it, if you know what I mean. So he seems to be pretty spry. If he wants to be, most of the time he's asleep, or seems to be asleep at that table.
How many beers do you think we need to feed him before we can poke him?
You want to poke him?
Kind of.
Is he a wood sprite?
I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna say
It's-
probably not.
It's a spirit of the forest.
Well,
Some
shit, I
kind
don't
of
know,
play
maybe.
tricks on
Maybe.
you. It'll lay in wait,
He's just.
trap you into things.
Oh,
Come
there
and
anything-
go without ever being seen. We aspire to be like that.
It's possible.
My brothers and I, we aspire
You got brothers?
Of course, many.
You have many, and they all live in the woods with you?
Only some at a time, but they come and go.
Did you say how many at a time?
I mean, there's 8 of us right now.
8.
There have been as much as 16.
What?
But that was what?
You lose brothers?
I mean, either they get old and move away, or they die, and we find new ones. Yes.
You find new ones?
You find your brothers, lad.
Yes.
You,
We find family.
you understand how babies are made.
The sisters provide us. If we lose one, we find a new one. We have. I mean, we need a small number, but we need a multiple
Your
to
parents are sisters.
do our jobs. What?
Wait a minute.
Parents?
You say
You don't have parents, lad.
Ooh.
when you say sisters, do you mean like
The sisterhood.
Moms?
like actual sisters? Like they're related to each other? They came from the same parents? Like this is my sister. We were born from the same mom. We actually came out of the same mom at the kind of the same time.
There's a lot of words going on here. There's a lot of druid women. They are sisters. They, the sisterhood. They are the sister. They,
Did y'all ever bother
they're in
my
charge
story?
of.
Doesn't even make any sense. How many beers did you give him, lad?
I mean, I think that's 1.5.
But one of them was a rabbit ale.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that'll
do it.
I wouldn't drink that.
But we serve it anyway.
Shit, storm's getting
What?
worse.
Why are you here, Elf? What brings you
They
creepily into
The
the bar?
sisters told me to. Oh shit! Hold on. I'm not supposed to tell you that.
Your parents?
What?
Oh, wait, no.
No.
Hold on. The sister. Do you know who your parents were?
Absolutely not.
You're an orphan.
Yes.
Okay. So you were raised by druid women?
Yes, out in the woods. The sisterhood of the Seven Winds, the druid women out there, they take orphan children, they train us in like some magic, and they teach us how to hunt and gather and shit, and turn us into
They
what
turn
you
you
would-
magic, lad.
what you would call rangers. They basically teach us just, they teach us enough to survive. They name us Zakar. They send us out into the woods to gather their shit, hunt and pillage, forage for them, and bring them food and items they need for their magical things and whatnot. And
So you try
We-
to pay us in leaves makes so much more
we
sense.
It does make a lot of
yes,
sense.
we live in the woods.
Tell me.
Give
Tell
me
me
a-
more
hold on.
about the
Kill
magic,
things.
lad.
Give me a history check, you two. So you're gonna roll, and you should
This
have
is obvious. People know this.
20.
right?
Dirty 20.
dirty 20.
Unnatural.
14.
14. What's her history?
Everyone knows this.
15.
15. So you
Everyone knows this.
and I, we don't know Zakars. We don't know the Sisterhood of the
What did I study
Seven
at
Winds.
school?
You studied religion, and you studied basically healing and life forces through the
so
Urianic Church.
Okay, so maybe that's why I wouldn't know.
Yeah, you don't know about druids and
The
natural-
magic
Yeah.
No.
aspect.
No,
I
you're
don't really
much
know
more
magic.
attuned to
I'm-
like religious magic.
Come on,
Beargar
everyone
is
knows
very
this.
interested in this. He has been looking into magic because he's gone to. Well, here, I'll do it in character.
And you, Beargar, you know this. You and I, we don't know this. You've heard of the Zakars. You've heard of the Sisterhood of the Seven Winds. You've heard of the magic druids in the forest that you know. You've never run into one. You don't know what they do, but you've heard of them. You know who they are.
Of course you know of it. Everyone knows of it.
You're a Zakar, lad.
Yes. Well, I mean, I'm Zakar. My brother Zakar. My other brother Zakar. There's
I know.
Zakar
I know.
and Zakar.
She
know.
knew.
There's subtle
This night has
differences.
gotten weird.
She knew the differences. I remember. I think I met somebody that was going to become a Zakar, or he went with the Sisterhood a long time ago. His name was Zakar.
Oh, not Zakar.
His name
you
was
knew,
Boy.
You knew Zakar.
and I think
You might have known Zakar.
it sounds right.
They're saying
Maybe
the
not
same
Zakar.
name, right?
That
Yes.
sounds right.
All right.
There's subtle
Yes.
differences.
Yeah.
I don't understand the differences. I didn't then, but she did. And so, you
Wait,
say they
who?
trained you in magic.
Who knew the differences?
I met a kinder long ago. Saved me.
All
Name's
right.
Dorothy.
Okay.
Uh,
Shit. All right. Sorry, but she. All right. Go ahead.
That may have been before my time. I don't get out much. I just
It's about
forage.
4 to 6 years ago. Been traveling for a long time trying to find a way to save me, Eleanor. I've looked into lots of different magics. She's trapped here.
I know.
I traveled to the Ashland Monastery.
It's weird.
You familiar with the monastery, lad?
I know of it. We've seen it.
Would she know of the monastery?
The sisters.
She studied there.
So I traveled to the Ashland Monastery,
Yeah, I know. I know.
and
I hear it.
I traveled with.
Did you see him?
No.
Traveled with a good fellow there for a while who taught me much. I've learned much about Urian, but Urian doesn't have the magic to free my sweet Eleanor. So I'm looking for the gnomes. I'm looking for a gnome that traveled. You've been out and around, have you, lad? Have
I've been in the
the
woods.
sisterhood? Why do they have you following me? Do you know where this gnome might have went?
The sisterhood are. There've been the weather recently, basically, is. There's been a lot of strange things happening. The storms have been rolling in. Have been
Aye,
just
bandits.
a lot more severe than normal. And
Yeah, it's been hard.
you've seen the lightning.
Bandit. He told me, or at least we think together, and I kind of scoop him in my arms. This storm is a sign.
Yeah,
That's why I came running when I heard there might be a gnome.
so lightning. It's usually like I don't know, kind of a blue color.
Yeah,
I've seen-
Normally,
that's true,
It's
yeah.
been.
I've seen the yellow light before, lad.
The yellow.
And so is me, Eleanor. And I guess I should point
You've
out
seen yellow lightning before?
a very important thing that you
Yeah.
guys should all have noticed about Bergar. His eyes are yellow. Like almost a little bit glowy. Like not quite creepy. If you look at him, you think, oh, those are brown. But they're yellow. And they glow a little. As does bandits.
So one of the sisters was a little out further than they normally go, and she was out in town one day, and she saw your friend there, and he's cute, but he worried her with the yellow that it's your eyes as well, his eyes. It's not a natural yellow.
I could tell
And
you the
it
story
worried her.
of how it all happened, like I tried to earlier. If you'd like. I've bought beer for everyone. Tomorrow I have a long day of chasing a gnome. And I'm very excited tonight because this is the first hope that I've had in a long time.
Alright. Here's what I'm gonna say. The storm's getting pretty bad outside. Why don't I buy us all around? I know. Aberdeen. I know. Next round's on the house. Tell your story. Why didn't everybody get comfortable next to the fire? Let's plan on staying here tonight because it is bad out there. And you can see outside that the lightning is becoming more and more and more frequent. The flashes of, and at that point in time when Zakar mentions the yellow lightning, you notice maybe for the first time that the lightning in the storm is yellow. It's not blue or white like normal lightning, and the flashes outside are yellow. And you can hear the rain is coming down in sheets, and you can hear it rushing across the roof of the of the tavern. And you can even see outside that it's like probably 10 or 15 feet in front of the tavern. There's no there's no visibility. Basically, it's just pouring outside. And so Angus buys around, sets you up next to the hearth, gets everybody comfortable. Says, it looks like we're going to be alone here for the rest of the night. I don't imagine anybody else is coming out in this storm. And you guys sit down next to the fire to hear your story. The bartender has bought a round for everyone sitting next to the hearth. We're ready to hear your story.
Did you bring is Gunner's, Beargar looks over to see if Gunner's thing is empty again, because he's pretty fascinated by that.
Okay. Give me a straight perception check.
11.
No, you didn't see anything. But it is empty.
It is gone?
It's gone.
Of course.
It's empty. Yeah.
Do you think our friend over there that's pretending to sleep, do you think he'd like to hear the story too?
Do you want to go ask him?
I think he is asleep.
Hey there, Gunner! Gunner, would you like to hear my story?
Give me a persuasion check. The dogs want to hear your story.
A 9.
Yeah, didn't know anything.
He does not care.
I don't think he wants to see my story.
I barely want to hear your story.
So, gather round, you mean elf.
I'm just supposed to watch you, not listen.
I mean, I think he's only a half elf, but yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the mean half.
The elf half is
I hear
mean.
that elves
Yes.
are not very nice, and they are skinny. And this one, he's
don't
like
know.
a poorly mannered elf.
I don't go out in public.
Maybe
You
you
expect
should
me to
be.
be
Maybe you should be a
nice?
little bit nicer to him if you want him to
I've
hear your
been buying
story.
him drinks all night.
That has been lovely.
He's following me. I'm trying to tell him my story, and he's uninterested in it. Perhaps I should
got me-
contact the sisters direct.
He's got me a couple really gamey drinks, and it's been lovely. The bottle was it's a little bitter.
Do you want the barrel beer again?
I like the flavor. You know,
I mean, some people like to chew their beer. I, mean,
I like gamey.
Get him another
If he
beer.
wants
used
the rabbit beer, get him a rabbit beer.
Yeah,
Maybe it'll make him nicer.
I'll go get it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Aberdeen.
Shuffle your feet.
Shuffle, I got
Shuffle on
little
over the
legs.
bar. You know, you're only 65. I mean, you're young. I don't know why you shuffle like you're 75.
They have my short legs.
Well, that's fair. All right.
The beer's heavy.
But you got long arms, lass.
I do. That weighs me down too.
I think I'm very nice. Sorry. Thank you. For
I've seen the yellow lightning before. Are you interested in that?
That is exactly what I'm here for. Yes.
Well, then I'm gonna have to tell me story, aren't I?
Oh, please continue.
How many beers have you bought him?
Gunner or the shitty elf?
The shitty elf.
The shitty elf. How many beers you bought him?
I've bought him 2 rabbit beers and 2 bottles.
That's 4.
That's 4 beers.
Perhaps it's 5.
Perhaps it's 5.
It may need to be 5.
Give him another beer.
All right, I'm gonna give him another beer.
For
So-
Pyrian's sake. Perhaps it is 5.
I would love to hear your story. Yes, actually, it is very important to what I need to be finding out.
Angus has
yes.
had 2. How many have you had? Because Angus has not been drinking the same amount as you guys.
I
'Cause
think
he's
I have-
friend of the bar.
1.
1. So, you guys have
Yes.
both had 5?
4.
I
got them.
just got my
number
5.
Okay,
yes.
so but you haven't drank yet.
Nope.
Give me a Constitution
yes.
saving throw.
Oh hell yeah! That's a 4, baby.
Ooh man.
Quattro.
Yeah, so you're starting to feel.
Quattro for Beerio.
You're starting to feel pretty.
I
drunk.
don't drink often.
Yeah,
so-
I'm getting that.
Mine was a 9.
You're feeling pretty drunk too. I mean, you're better off.
I
Than he is,
mean,
but
he also lives in the woods like I do, but
I was
so
also-
he also doesn't drink much.
I've been drinking since this morning, and he pulls out like a bottle of like some brown liquid from one of his pockets and takes a hit, and like hides it back in his
That's cool.
cloak.
Can I have some of that?
You sure you want some of this, Yelp?
No, but I
This
think
is-
I do.
A lot stronger, I think, than the rabbit beer that you've been drinking.
Okay, I've got a full rabbit beer, and
You're gonna forget me stories. Then I'm gonna have to tell it again. It's going to take forever because you don't let me fucking tell it.
I have a feeling like you're going to tell it again anyway. So yes,
It's fair. It's that checks out.
we'll run
Here's,
into anyone
here's
else.
the-
You're going to tell it again.
Here's just a quick hit, and then you have to give it back, lad. Hit it and pass it back.
I'm very sorry.
Hit it and quit it, for Christ's
Ye-
sake.
I would just say, I'm sorry. You are a very lovely man, and I appreciate everything you're doing for me right now.
Thank you, Sakari. Are you sure we should be giving him it? I take the bottle back.
Yes, here you go. I got it. Okay, I
Take it away.
I ain't got nothing else to do.
Hey, yeah, that was
Well, I'm passing the bottle around.
gamier
Probably not
than
as
the
good
rabbit.
as what y'all have, but if you'd like a sip,
Oh, thank
no.
you.
Nope.
it's my own home
No,
brew.
good.
No, thank you.
No, definitely not. Thank you very much for offering.
No, that was
Uh-oh.
perfect.
You liked it, Zakar. I tried to keep a bottle or two.
Fuck this rabbit shit. That is what I needed. Yes. Yes.
You want to tell a story now?
Tell me your story.
So I've seen this light before. Long ago, I was engaged to my sweet Eleanor. She was a person. She wasn't always trapped in this rock. And in the Greenfield lands, the heart tree, she exploded. Same yellow light that you're seeing tonight. That's why Bandit is so worked up. That's why we're so nervous. That's why I've been drinking all day. I saw it coming in the evening.
That's why they sent me here.
When the heart tree exploded, it killed everyone I know. For some reason, it didn't kill me or Bandit. It gave me sweet Eleanor a horrible infection to which I tried to find a cure. I took her to Loghorn. We were turned away at the gates. They feared that we had disease and threatened to kill us. From there, I traveled into the woods in the heart of the deep swamp. I found a Balthazar the Eternal. And Balthazar tried to consume the life force of my sweet Eleanor.
You found Balthazar.
I did, lad. He's not a nice fellow.
I'm sure we thought he was a fairy tale.
He's not a fairy tale. He's a fucking vampire. He tried to eat me, Eleanor. Tried to consume her very life force. And when he couldn't, he spewed it into this rock. And he threw me forever. It should have killed me. But me, Eleanor brought me back.
You were trying to tell me that Balthazar is real.
Balthazar's very real. And one day, after I free me, Eleanor, I'm going to find him. And I'm going to kill him.
Aberdeen, give me a history check.
8.
+3.
Plus
Or
three.
+2.
Plus 2, 10. Okay, so for you, this is like somebody saying that Dracula's real, or
That's what
like
I'm saying.
you've heard the name, but it's like there's no real history attached for you. Even in your religious studies, you didn't ever come across anything that was of any sort of actual evidence of this strange wizard man that.
So I wouldn't be able to tell him anything about it.
No, and
Yes.
you also like you would be just as like you would be
like
thinking this
me
is.
no, that's a fucking
Yeah, it's,
fairy
yeah,
tale.
it's
I've been,
sure Dracula exists. Whatever.
I'm a ranger. I've ranged through a lot of these woods. I don't know where he would even be. That's
And
the sisters, like, they tell us fairy tales about him to just warn us of the evil out there. Like,
After
you think you've met him? He's real.
Balthazar
Really?
put the soul of the love of my life in this fucking rock.
That's where that face came from.
That is where that face came from. After I saw Balthazar, he almost killed me. I was rescued, but my leg was badly broken.
give me an insight check.
18.
Okay, yeah. So both you and Angus are. This seems real. He, at the very least, what the story that he's telling, he believes.
Yep.
Like, and fully.
From there, I traveled north to the Ashlington Monastery. I met with Prior Victus. He helped me learn the ways of Urian. But Urian magic cannot free my Eleanor. So I traveled through the steppes, through the great wilds, through the Wyvern Desert, to these steppes, in search of the gnomish village Starvik. It exists. I know it does, but the gnomes aren't telling. And after a year, maybe two, maybe 3. I don't know. I traveled back here. There've been no gnomes. And if gnome magic is what gets me Eleanor out, then gnome magic is what I need to find. No. And there was a gnome here days ago. We're going to find him tomorrow. We think that he's traveling north to Otterham Gate.
I mean, gnomes are,
Rare.
Gnomes are rare. And there's a lot of stories about gnomes, but I mean, I've met a gnome or two, and those stories are rarely accurate. Those are just angry little tiny people. They don't magic anything. They're just gnomes. They try and sell you fucking rocks that do nothing. I mean, they're not... I have never seen a gnome be magic.
So, Zakar, tell us how you really feel about gnomes.
So, wait, you're looking for gnomes. I've had a few drinks at this point. So you're trying to find a gnome. You've been to like Gnome City and all that.
Tharvik.
Yeah, Gnome City. I've run into a few gnomes as they travel around just selling random bullshit. They'll fucking sell bark to anything. Like, they'll tell you their gnomes are shit, man. They're not. They just want money. They pretend they're magical and they don't do anything. I know. I've never met a fucking gnome that could do anything or has anything magical.
Angus, can you attune to
I'm
this?
just,
Yes.
I'm just trying to say, I know.
I mean, yeah.
I've seen no magic, lad. I'm looking for more.
I could take you back and introduce you to the sisters. I mean,
I'd be happy to do that, lad.
Yeah, the druids. They can like
if they
grow.
can get Eleanor out of this rock.
They can like grow plants
go wherever
from
you want.
nothing and shit. They can just like grow.
But
a
can they
fucking plant.
remove the soul of a human woman from a rock?
I mean, some of them they do.
I feel like you know as much about them as you do about gnomes.
They definitely will remove human souls from things.
You know what this one needs?
Mostly
things a lot.
Mostly human people.
That's what they do. Like some of them they're called. They hang around the brothels a lot. That's how they get Zakar's. They're good friends with a lot of the women at the brothels. So the
prostitutes.
Yes, that's how. I mean, that's where you find orphans, right? And
Is he talking about?
At brothels?
Talking about gnomes?
So
No, I think
he's talking about more Zakar.
I think he was saying that the sisters hang out with prostitutes to get.
Yes.
I'm not looking to. They already have a
They
baby.
help
lad.
get
So
babies.
they
I
help.
don't need a baby.
They help
I need
the
to
women.
get my.
They either take the babies off of the hands, or they just
of the prostitutes?
remove the souls from the women before the baby. It's the whole thing.
I mean, hold
The-
on.
Are these where your brothers come from? Your brothers?
Where else?
Brothel brothers.
Where else do you find orphan
He's got-
orphan
That
children?
makes
Brothel
sense to me.
brothers.
Brothel brothers,
All
yeah.
right, brothel B.
You
That's
know,
an
after this
excellent
whole
story.
conversation, Bearman, I think your best bet would probably just to go see these
My
gnomes.
name is Beregar, lad. Lass.
Bearman.
Beregar with a G. And
I don't know why you're telling me Beargar with a G.
thank you so much, Angus. It's nice that there's someone out here with a little bit of a fucking heart.
I have a heart. I'm telling you to go, not to where this guy's brothel brothers are.
That's not where I want to go.
I'm just telling him.
Aberdeen, give me a history check. Actually, no, sorry, give me a religion check.
None.
1. Oh, it's a straight fail.
None.
You see?
Okay, so
You see what I'm talking about?
So what you with a fail, what you know is that in all of your religious studies, you've never heard of souls really even being transferred from a living thing to a non-living thing. You definitely are not sure. You definitely are not sure if gnomes would know anything about it. But you do know, and you do know from the gnome that was just here, that at least some of the stuff that he was selling seemed to be sort of magical. Maybe. At least there was a trick to it, because he had things that could, like, cook toast by itself without having to put it next to a fire. Things like that. So, you know, maybe gnomes are magical, but as far as anybody being able to remove a soul from anything, you're like, I don't know.
Nope, gnomes are not magical. Sorry.
Tomorrow morning, I'm gonna look for a gnome.
Everyone give me a perception check.
Fucking natural 20.
Oh, shit.
I am drunk and not perceptive, and so that natural 20 turns into a 19. But it's a natural 20.
The natural 20 is, so you, Zakar, for the first time.
It was because of whatever that liquid in the flask that you gave me.
I'll
That
give you another
helps.
hit, lad. As long as you don't talk any more shit about gnomes. Your fucking diatribe went on
You know
forever.
That,
It was longer than me story that you complained about.
give me another hit, it'll definitely help.
You notice in all this, you see, out of the corner of your eye, the bottle of Gunner's table hit the table, and then you see his hand go back down limp. But you see him put the bottle down. And then when you look, the bottle's empty.
I think your friend needs another.
How fast did he drink that thing, lad? Bergard looks at his own, which is about 3/4. How did you... I'm not drinking slow, but... I'm not drinking fast, but I'm not drinking that fast.
He's almost as sneaky as I am.
How many has he had now? Angus, was that 4 or was it 5?
Since you've been here, that's 5.
I bought him 5 beer. Hey! And so now Bergar is a little drunk.
Now's the time.
He's feeling like he's made a friend in Zakar, even though he's kind of like. But he knows that Zakar likes his whiskey, so he leans over and he picks up the apple core that Bandit had been eating, and takes it and throws it at Gunner. It's like, if you're going to be drinking the beers, you should engage in the what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know, conversation.
Cheerful
The
banter.
revelry, the
Cheerful banter.
Aberdeen, you're beautiful and wonderful.
Ugh.
Roll.
You should not piss off a wood sprite.
I appreciate all that you do.
Roll an attack roll.
Roll an attack.
Yes!
You chucked something at him.
It was an apple core.
Well, I'm not saying you're trying to hurt him, but
You
you're...
guys roll initiative?
18 when I get on my attack. My longbow is +3.
Okay, so the 21.
So
To
went
hit.
straight into his ear hole.
So you hit. Hold on. All right, I'm gonna roll
Apple
2.
seeds up his nose.
Uh-oh.
I like the sound of that.
Okay, so he doesn't see it coming. Oh shit, and he doesn't catch it. So it hits him in the head. But you do see his head down when you throw it. You see his hand come up and try and catch it. But he misses it, and it hits him in the head.
Perhaps your reflexes would be faster if you hadn't drinking 5 beers without saying a word, Gunner.
Oh boy.
The man lifts his head up off the table, and you see he's got kind of like a red headband on, long, kind of scraggly hair hanging down, an unkempt beard.
Is he a redheaded stranger?
Because he has his dark hair.
Okay.
His eyes are kind of bloodshot. And his face looks like it's been laying on a bar table for a couple of hours, because it has been. He kind of looks at you bleary-eyed. Excuse me?
Gunner, do you know anything about the gnome who came through here a few days ago? Angus here and Aberdeen, they tell me that you're here all the time. And I'm pretty convinced that you're paying attention to what's going on because you're drinking all the beers. I'll buy you another one if you come have a discussion with us.
You're offering to buy me a beer.
Alright, watch it 5.
So yeah, I sit, fucking drink.
Oh, Gunnar, I see you sit and drink a lot. Did you see anything with the gnome that came through here a few days ago? Was it 3 days? Was it 5 days?
I don't see shit.
You don't see shit.
No.
You see the beers?
Well, when they're on my table, yeah.
You know about a gnome.
No.
Seriously, you know nothing about it. If I got you another beer, would you still not know anything about the gnome?
Well, let's see how good that beer tastes.
Another round, lad. Another round. Angus, you think we could do another round? Look at who come to join us. It's the antisocial Gunner. He's happy and he's drinking now. We're getting him another beer. He's gonna see if it helps him remember the gnome.
All
You know,
right.
for a slow night, I
Yeah.
sure am working a lot.
See, but you know what? We're also selling a lot, so
I mean,
That's
I'm
true.
onto
That's true.
I'm
Okay.
antisocial. He buys me drinks. I talk shit about gnomes.
Do I need
That's
to get
terrible.
everyone
Now
else
he needs to
around?
buy someone else drinks to not talk shit about gnomes.
Does anybody else want?
yeah, Aberdeen, if you don't mind, just
Yeah.
grab a whole round, and I'll tell you what, Mr. Bergar, again, I'm gonna go ahead and cover this one.
For real. Thank you so much, Angus.
But here's what I'm gonna insist on. I'm gonna cover this round. After this round, I need to go to bed. I'm gonna stay here tonight because I don't want to walk home in this shit. I'm gonna insist that all of you stay here too. The rain is fucking awful. We got rooms upstairs. You guys stay upstairs. Stay in for the night. Let the storm pass over. You can go home in the morning. The beers are on me. You owe me a gold for the rooms.
Vergar pops out 2 gold. So this is for me. This is for me, Boyo Bandit. And I'm assuming that our good friend Zakar there doesn't have any money. I don't know about you, Gunner. Are you going to get a room?
I don't need a fucking room. I'll sleep here.
I have a squirrel.
Zakar, you can go sleep out in the stables.
Oh, it's a straw.
Yes.
Fuck yes.
I paid a
And
gold
I'm
so
pretty
that you
sure
could have a
how
room and a
you,
bed.
you said that it was for Bandit. The 2 gold pieces were for you and Bandit.
That he did.
Well, one for me and Bandit in one room, and one for my friend Zakar, who I know clearly. Actually, you know what? Just let him sleep
I
in
mean,
the shed.
as long as there's straw.
Mr. Zakar, there is a room upstairs for you. It has a bed in it. Try one. It might be interesting.
How many beers have I had?
I think you're on 6, maybe 7. I've lost count.
I'm doing just fine.
Yeah?
Maybe I'll try bed this once.
I
I
mean-
think I might try bed this once.
It might do wonders for your back. I don't know.
There's straw in the mattress.
There is straw on a mattress.
Oh,
So I guess it's like sleeping in the stables. I just didn't want to go upstairs and make up another bed.
I mean, it's less stinky,
I guess.
but I mean,
it's as long as there's straw.
I don't think he's gonna care if the bed's made.
Made.
Okay.
Bandit,
Yeah, bed's
Never mind.
made.
Never mind.
Bed's
we're good.
made.
We're good.
All right.
We're good.
Bandit lad. My boyo Bandit. He's asking if you got any more other apples. They troubled you for another apple.
I've got a couple good berries if you want one. I mean, he's a nice. I wouldn't mind giving him some berries.
Roll me a persuasion check with advantage.
9, 11. 11.
11. All right. Last one though, damn it. He tosses you an apple.
Bandit scoops it up. He's fucking psyched. He like runs around, nibbles on it. He runs and jumps on the thing and dumps it in the rabbit beer.
Rabbit beer.
I'm gonna Zakal throw Bandit a good berry, and he
Shit.
he just takes it, smells it, is like, eh. He just like hides it, just like sticks it in his armpit and holds onto it from there.
Bandit does?
Yeah,
Nice. What was that there you gave me, boy Bandit, lad?
it's a berry. It's a good berry.
I don't think it was
very
that
good berry.
He didn't eat it. He eats everything.
He'll need it later.
He stuck it in his armpit.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's a very good berry.
Come on, Bandit.
It's a very good berry.
Beargar walks off and he's like rubbing his rock. Oh, Eleanor, there's a lead on a gnome. We're going to go look for him. The storm is going to go pass through. We made some great new friends. We met a couple of halflings, Angus and Aberdeen. They serve us beer. Angus is a lot nicer. His sister, I think she needs a hug. And there's this elf, Zakar. He's very drunk and he loves whiskey. And I think tomorrow,
Whiskey
when we follow
loves
after the
me.
gnome, he's going to follow me. But I don't think he likes gnomes.
I mean, you know we can hear you, right?
Oh, good night. Good night, y'all. You have a wonderful evening. I'm going to bed. Oh, shit. I was talking too loud to you again, dear.
Angus looks at you, Gunnar looks at you and goes, I didn't want to tell him about the fucking gnomes anyway. And he puts his head back down. So you've gone to bed?
I have gone up to my room.
Okay. Are you staying upstairs?
I assume that the upstairs room with the hay and the straws is also the upstairs stable, and I fall asleep on the straw.
Alright.
Because...
And Aberdeen, you and Angus have rooms that you keep here in case of nights like tonight. So you guys have rooms. This is kind of a Gunner thing. He sometimes goes to sleep in the bar. Alright. So we all go to bed.
That guy's definitely not our friend. He's talking to rocks and shit.
I completely agree with you. That's weird. That man talks to rocks. He's got a crazy story about hunting gnomes.
He's got a raccoon that he thinks he can talk to, and the raccoon puts berries in its armpits.
It washes apples in beer.
Angus, why do we do what we do? Why do we keep doing what we do?
Mean, shit, we made almost 10 gold tonight in the last hour. I mean, it's not bad money.
I guess you're right.
On a night like tonight, I mean, it's pouring ass rain outside, and we made 10 gold. That's why we do it.
Fair enough.
All right, well, get some sleep. See you in the morning. We're gonna have to deal with
I
these.
sleep in the morning.
That's fair enough. I'll try not to bother you. Go get some sleep. I'm gonna have to deal with these assholes in the morning.
Okay.
All right. Everybody goes to sleep. About 2 hours later,
It's just the neighbor's room.
Aberdeen, you hear on your door a kind of frantic knocking. And then you hear your brother going, Aberdeen! Aberdeen! Aberdeen!
What?
You got to get up and help me.
Why? What in tarnation?
The storm is way worse than we thought it was. The downstairs is flooded. I have no idea where the hell Gunnar went, but it's probably 4 or 5 feet deep downstairs. Like, we would be swimming in it. And it's getting higher, faster. I think the storm has come over the shores. I think it is a full-on storm flood. We gotta go.
So it's not a mop situation.
No, this
we need
is
to
not
go.
a mop. This is a we gotta get out situation. You go wake up the rest of the people. I will go out back and get the stuff ready to go. But we gotta go.
Fine.
And that's where we're gonna end. We'll pick up next time.
All right.
Good job, guys. Yeah. Good job.
And that concludes episode 1 of the Corellan Chronicles. Join us next time as the gang tries to escape the hellish storm and finds themselves in Hathorn Manor. Thanks for listening.